Now we will proceed for the inauguration ceremony. A flower does not think of competing to the flower next to it. It just blooms. A leader does not force people to follow, he invites them on a journey. We are extremely grateful to our esteemed guests today who have accepted our invitation to be a part of this occasion. I would like to start by inviting the respected dignitaries on the dais.
I would like to start the proceedings by extending a very warm and cordial welcome to our chief guest. He is someone who does not need any formal introduction. Please put your hands together to welcome Professor Dr. George D'Souza Sir, Honorable President, AIIMS Raipur. He is the Dean of the prestigious St. John's Medical College, Bengaluru, and a renowned pulmonologist. Apart from being an excellent clinician and academician, he has performed innovative research in the fields of sleep medicine and airway diseases. He also played a salient role in the initiation of DOTS under RNTCP in Bengaluru. Despite his heavy schedule, he accepted to grace today's function. We are really thankful for his valuable participation in this event. Thank you, sir.
Friends, now I am presenting before you a person who is widely known for his professional skills and thoroughly gentleman approach. AIIMS Raipur has scaled new heroic heights under his stewardship. The image of such legends gets transformed into the image of the institution that they serve. They are called the pioneers. Ladies and gentlemen, please join your hands and give a thundering applause to our guest of honor, Director Sir, Professor Dr. Nitin M. Nagarkar Sir. He has played a humongous role in the establishment and expansion of AIIMS Raipur. Apart from successfully completing 2 tenures as the Director of AIIMS Raipur, he also served as the Director of AIIMS Bhopal. AIIMS Raipur was the nodal center of Central India during the COVID pandemic, for which his contribution both as a clinician and as an administrator cannot be overemphasized. He has earned the title of Icons of Health Award in Times of India in both 2016 and 2017. We are indeed grateful to you, sir, for graciously and readily accepting our invitation. Thank you, sir.
May I now request respected Dean Academics, Dr. Alok Chandra Agarwal Sir, to please grace the dais with his presence. Being one of the senior-most faculty members of AIIMS Raipur, he has played an enormous role in the growth of the institute. He is a fine academician, dynamic leader, and a proficient orthopedician who adds a personal touch towards the meticulous care of his patients.
I now request Professor Dr. Suresh Gupta Sir, Founder Chairperson IAP PEM Chapter, to grace the dais. He is a very renowned pediatrician, emergency physician, as well as intensivist in one of the most well-acclaimed hospitals of Delhi and the country, Gangaram Hospital. His contribution towards the society is immense, and he has played a prime role in fostering the growth of pediatric emergency as a super specialty branch in India. The creation of IAP PEM chapter would have been impossible without his ceaseless efforts, along with the able and colossal support of Professor Dr. Anil K. Goyal Sir, Professor Dr. Debasis Das Adhikari Sir, Professor Dr. Prerna Batra Ma'am, Dr. Bharat Chaudhary Sir, Professor Dr. Abhijit Saha Sir, Dr. Indumati Ma'am, and other legends from across the country.
I would now like to bring the focus on another star in our galaxy of esteemed guests today. He is none other than Dr. Suneet Singhi Sir, a pediatrician of international repute and a global leader in pediatric intensive care. He has successfully established India's first pediatric intensive care unit in 1992 and the country's first DM program in pediatric critical care. He has been awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award of IAP for research in 2016. Next, I would call onto the dais. I would like to welcome Dr. Sarita Agarwal ma'am, Dean Examination, AIMS Raipur. Dean Research, AIMS Raipur. Sorry. I would like to invite Professor Dr. Anil K. Goyal sir, Founder Secretary of IAP PEM Chapter and Organizing Chairman Napem 2022 to grace the stage. He is not only the head of Department of Pediatrics, but also the head of the Division of Pediatric Emergency in AIMS Raipur. He is a good administrator and always easily accessible to everyone in the department. His enthusiasm and energy is infectious to everyone around him. He is a person with no fear, taking the initiative of running the first successfully functioning DM Pediatric Emergency Super Specialty program in the country. Last but not the least, he is the backbone of this conference, which would have been futile without him.
May I now request our Organizing Secretary, Dr. Tushar Jagzape sir, to please grace the stage. An astute clinician, exceptional academician, a compassionate doctor, and a benevolent soul. This conference would not have been possible without your relentless efforts, sir.
Now, I would like to welcome our Organizing Secretary, Dr. Santosh Rathia sir, on the stage. A young, vibrant and zestful personality, he has played an immense role in the entire implementation and outlining of this conference.
Thank you, everyone. We are truly honored to have such an esteemed panel with us here today. Kindly stand for the national anthem. Light fades away darkness. It symbolizes knowledge and divinity and illuminates our souls. I would like to request all the respected dignitaries to proceed with the lamp lighting, which will be followed by the recital of Saraswati Vandana.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा।
Flowers are the bounty of nature which express humility and tenderness of human emotions. They reflect both warmth and welcome and are a unique expression of joy that their beauty radiates. Now I request Professor Dr. Anil K. Goyal sir to present a set of aesthetic flowers to our worthy chief guest, Professor Dr. George D'Souza sir. We are truly privileged to have you with us today, sir. May I now request Dr. Tushar Jagzape sir to offer a bunch of flowers to our revered guest of honor, Professor Dr. Nitin M. Nagarkar sir. We are honored to have you with us today, sir.
I now request Dr. Swasti Keshri to welcome Dr. Alok C. Agarwal sir. Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. M.D. Naseem to welcome Dr. Suresh Gupta, sir.
I now request Dr. Abhinaya to welcome Professor Dr. Suneet Singhi, sir. I now request Dr. Pratyusha to welcome Dr. Sarita Agrawal, ma'am. May I please request Dr. Dilip Kumar to proffer the bouquet to Professor Dr. Anil K. Goyal, sir. I now request Dr. Murugan TP to offer fresh flowers to Dr. Tushar Jagzape, sir.
May I now request Dr. Pratyusha to welcome Dr. Santosh Rathia, sir.
I would now like to request Professor Dr. A.K. Goyal, sir, Organizing Chairman, to give the welcome address.
नमस्कार, प्रणाम, सुस्वागतम। सभागार में मौजूद सभी को मेरा नमस्कार, जय जोहार। पीडियाट्रिक इमरजेंसी मेडिसिन स्पेशलिटी आईईपी के इस प्रथम राष्ट्रीय सम्मेलन में मैं करबद्ध हो आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं। इस त्रिदिवसीय कार्यक्रम में पहला दिन कार्यशाला को वर्कशॉप को समर्पित रहा, जिसमें हमने बाल रोग आपातकालीन चिकित्सा से संबंधित कुछ कार्यशालाएं करवाई। आप सभी की गरिमामय उपस्थिति साइंटिफिक संगोष्ठी को सफलता की प्रतिध्वनित करती है। इस कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए मैं सर्वप्रथम हमारे मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर जॉर्ज जी डिसूजा को नमस्कार करता हूं। सर एम्स रायपुर के प्रेसिडेंट हैं एवं डीन सेंट जॉन्स मेडिकल कॉलेज बेंगलोर के रूप में अपने प्रशासनिक एवं शैक्षणिक योग्यता का परिचय दे रहे हैं। एम्स रायपुर के प्रेसिडेंट के रूप में सर ने हमेशा हमारा उत्साहवर्धन किया है। इस मंच पर मैं आपका स्वागत करता हूं सर। इस मंच से इस प्रथम वार्षिक सम्मेलन को संबोधित करने की काबिलियत दिलवाने के पीछे हम सभी के आदर्श हमारे नागरकर सर हैं। सर का निरंतर समर्थन, सुझाव, सहायता एवं मार्गदर्शन ने ही हमें इस काबिल बनाया है कि हम देश का पहला एकलौता डीएम प्रोग्राम पीडियाट्रिक इमरजेंसी मेडिसिन एम्स रायपुर में आरंभ कर पाए हैं। मैं आपको नमन करता हूं सर। विगत 2.5 वर्षों से हम इसे सफलतापूर्वक देश के एकलौते कार्यक्रम को संचालन कर रहे हैं। इस प्रोग्राम की नींव रखने में हमारे प्रिय डॉक्टर नितिन एम नागरकर, डायरेक्टर एंड सीईओ एम्स रायपुर का योगदान इतिहास के पन्नों में स्वर्णाक्षरों में अंकित रहेगा। मैं खुद को बहुत भाग्यशाली मानता हूं कि मुझे सर के तत्वावधान में काम करने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त हुआ है। उद्घाटन समारोह में आपका स्वागत है सर। इस डीएम प्रोग्राम के प्रारंभ करने में हमारे संस्थान के पूर्व साइंटिफिक कमेटी के चेयरपर्सन एवं नीति आयोग के सम्मानीय सदस्य प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर वीके पॉल का विशिष्ट योगदान रहा है। इस मंच से मैं उनके प्रति अपना आभार भी व्यक्त करता हूं सर। किसी भी शैक्षणिक संस्थान में जारी विभिन्न शैक्षणिक कार्यक्रम में उस संस्थान का चेहरा होता है। डॉक्टर आलोक चंद्र अग्रवाल, डीन एकेडमिक्स रायपुर एवं एचओडी डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ ऑर्थोपेडिक्स ने अपनी कर्मठता एवं कर्तव्य निष्ठा के द्वारा पूरे देश में खुद को एक सफल अस्थिरोग शल्य चिकित्सक के रूप में स्थापित किया है। उनके सफल मार्गदर्शन में आयोजित इस कार्यक्रम में मैं मंच पर आपका स्वागत करता हूँ। आईएपी एक बहुत पुरानी, तकरीबन 60 साल पुरानी शिशु रोग विज्ञों की एक संस्था है। समय के साथ इस संस्था में कई सब स्पेशलिटी ने अपनी जगह बनाई। करीबन 1 साल पहले नवंबर 2021 तक इस आईएपी चैप्टर के तकरीबन 18 सब स्पेशलिटी चैप्टर हुआ करते थे। पीडियाट्रिक इमरजेंसी मेडिसिन की उत्पत्ति, निरंतर विकास एवं बढ़ती मांग को मद्देनजर रखते हुए गत नवंबर 2021 में इस नई सब स्पेशलिटी पीडियाट्रिक इमरजेंसी मेडिसिन का गठन किया गया। इस चैप्टर के गठन के 1 वर्ष में ही हमने इस सम्मेलन का आयोजन कर आईपी पीडियाट्रिक इमरजेंसी मेडिसिन के वार्षिक सम्मेलन आयोजन करने की प्रथा को हमने प्रयत्न किया है। इस सब स्पेशलिटी चैप्टर में मूर्त रूप से हमारे संगठन के मेडन चेयरपर्सन, जो पहले चेयरपर्सन डॉक्टर सुरेश गुप्ता एवं अन्य साथी मेंबर जैसे कि डॉक्टर अभिजीत शाह, डॉक्टर प्रेरणा बत्रा, डॉक्टर देवाशीष अधिकारी, डॉक्टर इंदुमती संतानम, डॉक्टर राधिका रमन, डॉक्टर शारदा सतीश, डॉक्टर भरत चौधरी एवं अन्य कई गण्यमान्य मेंबर की आपसी समन्वय, सहयोग एवं तत्परता सर्वोपरि रहा है। मैं मन से उन सबको नमन करता हूँ। डॉक्टर सुरेश गुप्ता देश के एक अग्रणी शिशु रोग विशेषज्ञ हैं एवं अति विशिष्ट चिकित्सा संस्थान सर गंगाराम हॉस्पिटल में अपनी चिकित्सा सेवा को प्रदान कर रहे हैं। मंच पर आपकी गरिमामय उपस्थिति के लिए आपका मैं स्वागत करता हूं सर। प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर सुनीत सिंह जी, एक जाने माने इंटेंसिविस्ट, पीडियाट्रिक इंटेंसिविस्ट। आज मुझे लगता है कि ये सभागार में जो भी बैठा है सर किसी के लिए अपरिचित नहीं है, तो उनके लिए कोई भी वर्ड्स मेरे लिए कम होंगे। सर आपको भी मैं सभा पर आमंत्रित करता हूं और स्वागत करता हूं। प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर सरिता अग्रवाल, डीन रिसर्च, एक ऐसे व्यक्तित्व हैं जो कि बच्चों के साथ, फैकल्टी के साथ, सबके साथ इतने घुल मिल जाते हैं कि हमें मालूम भी नहीं पड़ता कि वो फैकल्टी हैं या फिर एक डीन भी हैं। ऐसे एक व्यक्तित्व को आज के समारोह में हमारा स्टेज ग्रहण करने के लिए मैं सर आपको धन्यवाद ग्रहण करता हूँ। किसी भी कार्यक्रम का आधार स्तंभ उनके ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी होते हैं। डॉक्टर तुषार जगजापे, एडिशनल प्रोफेसर पीडियाट्रिक एम्स रायपुर एवं डॉक्टर संतोष राठिया, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर ट्रॉमा एंड इमरजेंसी, एम्स रायपुर का निरंतर सहयोग एवं कर्तव्य परायणता के द्वारा इस सफल आयोजन का पात्र बना है। मैं डॉक्टर तुषार जगजापे, डॉक्टर संतोष राठिया का मंच पर स्वागत करता हूँ। शिक्षक फैकल्टी एक पथ प्रदर्शक के रूप में अपने ज्ञान, अनुभव एवं पांडित्य का शिक्षार्थियों का प्रशिक्षित करते हैं। इस त्रिदिवसीय कार्यक्रम में देश विदेश से 60 से ज़्यादा विशेषज्ञ अपने अनुभव एवं पांडित्य से हमको सभी को लाभान्वित कर रहे हैं। मैं सभी विशेषज्ञ फैकल्टीज़ का इस कार्यक्रम में स्वागत करता हूं। किसी भी कार्यक्रम की सफलता उनके भाग लेने वाले प्रतिभागियों, डेलीगेट से मापी जाती है। मैं सभी उपस्थित प्रतिभागियों का स्वागत करता हूं। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि इस कार्यक्रम से अर्जित ज्ञान एवं कौशल आप सभी को चिकित्सा वृत्ति में और समृद्ध करेगा। जय हिंद।
Thank you, sir. I would now like to call upon respected Dean Academics, Professor Dr. Alok C. Agrawal, sir, to address the gathering.
Chief guest of this gathering, our President, Dr. D'Souza. Guest of honor, Professor Dr. Nitin M. Nagarkar, our Director and Chief Executive Officer. Professor Dr. Suresh Gupta from Gangaram Hospital, our most important faculty. Organizing Chairman Dr. Anil Goel, Dr. Tushar Jagzape and Dr. Santosh Ratia, the organizing secretaries. Dr. Sarita Agrawal, Dean Research, sitting on the dais. And Dr. Sunit Singhai as our senior faculty. Our august delegates and other faculty members. Pediatric emergencies and having a national conference on this topic is very important. And I want to congratulate Dr. Anil Goel and his team for thinking that a conference and a chapter within AIIMS Raipur can be made is really good. Most of the other faculties in the hall who are not in pediatrics may not even think that a child is not a contracted adult and the same principles are following in the child. Everything changes. Putting an intracath, deciding on the fluids, deciding on the diameter and length of the endotracheal tubes, how much fluid to be passed. And you never know when you are operating on a child, when you will lose him if not properly trained. So, we from the Department of Orthopedics, who do a lot of pediatric orthopedics, are many times dependent on the pediatrics people even to start IV lines to our children. It becomes difficult, even in the hand of the very senior anesthetist people to do these things. Pediatric orthopedics in itself has developed as a separate specialty. Pediatric surgery in itself is another specialty. But principles of pediatric emergency are to be known to all of us, and this workshop will take care where once you go from here, you will feel that you are in a better position to handle not only pediatric cases, but those illnesses which directly don't come under the domain of pediatrics. I welcome you all to this conference, and I again congratulate the organizing team for having such a big event which will guide all of us. Thank you.
I would now like to call upon respected Dean Research, Professor Dr. Sarita Agrawal ma'am, to address the gathering.
आदरणीय प्रेसिडेंट एम्स डॉक्टर जॉर्ज डिसूजा सर, the Director and CEO AIMS Raipur, Dr. Napem Nagarkar, the Dean Academics, Dr. Alok Agrawal, Dr. Sunit Singhi sir, and Dr. Saroj Gupta sir. I welcome you all on this program, and I'm so glad, and I want to thank Dr. Anil Goyal and the team of the pediatrics who first made me to sit in the dais with such a big dignitaries. I'm sharing the dais for the first time with Dr. D'Souza sir. Thank you, Dr. Anil Goyal, for inviting me here. And I must congratulate the whole team of pediatrics with Dr. Anil Goyal that they are able to bring this national conference to be here. And it's a huge, big 3 days event where all will be a great academic fest. And I'm sure that the delegates and the senior faculties coming from the various places will definitely enjoy this academic fest. I really want to congratulate Dr. Anil Goyal as he established the Department of Pediatric Emergency Unit in AIMS Raipur, which is really one of the very wonderful efforts taken by him, and our pediatric patients are getting a grand care, and the pediatric surgeons are able to take the risk of performing the big surgery with the pediatric intensive care unit is there with us. And definitely in the Department of Pediatrics at AIMS Raipur, being the Dean Research, I know the number of research projects, extramurally funded and intramurally funded, both are the maximum number is from the Department of Pediatrics. So I think a great applause for Dr. Anil Goyal, Dr. Atul Jindal, and Dr. Tushar and other faculties or AIMS who are doing lots of research, and I know these researches are going to bring new revolution in the field of pediatrics. So with that, of course, being the Dean Research, I just want to enumerate some of the research activities of AIMS Raipur. We have at least 133 extramural funded research in the institute with a budgeting of over 7 crores of the rupees for the different extramural funds. And then we have the intramural fund, which is being funded from the institute, that is around 75, with a budgeting from the institute itself is almost 3 crore rupees. So we really appreciate the efforts of our director, sir, Dr. Napem Nagarkar. He is a very research pro person. He is in a grand motivation for all of us to go on doing the research. So with that, thank you so much, and I really expect that you are going to enjoy, and we are having the good feedback about the whole 3 days conference.
I now request Professor Dr. Anil K. Goyal sir, Secretary IAP PEM Chapter, to present the Secretary's annual report on behalf of IAP PEM Chapter.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, Professor Dr. D'Souza sir, Professor Dr. Napem Nagarkar sir, Professor Dr. Alok sir, Professor Dr. Sarita madam, Professor Dr. Sunit Singhi sir, Dr. Tushar Jagyape, and my fellow colleagues, Dr. Santosh. I am feeling myself equally proud and honored while presenting this maiden annual report of this pediatric emergency medicine chapter. From time to time, there was a thought among the practicing pediatric emergency experts across the country to have a society or a chapter under which umbrella they can work cohesively, be it academic or research. In these connections, I want to share the fact that there had been years in multiple institutions across the country having separate fellowships in the name of either STEP or AC, and in institutes of national importance like AIMS Jodhpur have come into picture. It was our privilege and pride to gather and arrange a discussion and with the team members comprising of my colleagues, Dr. Devasis, Dr. Suresh Gupta, Dr. Indumati Madam, Dr. Radhika, Dr. Pramila, and Dr. Pranay Batra, Dr. Abhijit Saha, and many more. Following which we had a multiple number of discussions and meetings on the virtual platform and concluded that the need and the importance of a uniform body in the name of Indian Academy of Pediatrics, Pediatric Emergency Medicine Chapter, and its body and its importance in our pediatric subspecialty in the future perspective. So in the same length, in the mid of October 2021, around 1 year, 2 months back, it was decided to take a call on this initiative, and along with Dr. Prerna Batra and Dr. Suresh Gupta, we met the then Honorable IEP President Dr. Piyush Gupta in his office to set up this IEP PEM platform on which this chapter will develop and grow. The IEP PEM chapter was officially approved with its IEP legislative norms and official documents with its requirements, with needing more than 750 signatures of the IEP life members for verification in forming a body, and it was approved by our then President Dr. Piyush Gupta and our then General Secretary Dr. Vasab Raja, and was declared as an independent chapter of Indian Academy of Pediatrics on November 11, 2021. It was our immense joy and pleasure to share that we had our first online meeting, because the COVID was going on at that point of time. So we had our own online meeting on 19th of November with all our IEP PEM core members, in which 19 members were attended, and the subsequent on the subsequent virtual platform, it was unanimously decided that these members will be given the status of the founder members of the IEP chapter. Just to name them: Dr. Suresh Gupta from Institute of Child Health, Gangaram Hospital, Delhi; Dr. Sanjay Bafna from Jahangir Apollo Hospital, Pune; Dr. Indumati Santanam from Institute of Child Health, Madras Medical College, Chennai; Dr. Radhika Raman from Kanchi Kamakoti Child Health Hospital, Chennai; Dr. Prerna Batra from UCMS and GTV Hospital, New Delhi; Dr. Abhijit Saha, Lady Harding Medical College and New Delhi; Dr. Sarada Satish Mehta Multi-Specialty Children's Hospital in Chennai; Dr. Anil Kumar Goyal, Professor in Pediatrics, AIIMS Raipur; Dr. Jayanti Ramesh, Masonic Children's Hospital, Coimbatore; Dr. Devasis Adhikari is Professor and Head Department of Pediatric Emergency Medicine at CMC Vellore; Dr. Neha Rai from RML Hospital, Lucknow; Dr. Bharat Chaudhary from AIIMS Jodhpur; Dr. Gunda Srinivas from Aster RB Hospital, Bangalore; Dr. Akila Sivakumar from Mithun Child Clinic, Chennai; Vikram Bhaskar from UCMS, Delhi; Dr. Bhupeshwari Patel from AIIMS Bhopal; Pramila Joji from Kerala; and Dr. Arun Prasad from AIIMS Patna. All the members agreed on creating a functional body and nominating the important post for smooth functioning of the chapter. With everyone's comments and inputs, following posts were suggested and responsibilities were distributed through nomination. And unanimously, Professor Dr. Suresh Gupta, who is the senior most person in the Academy of Pediatric Emergency Medicine, was nominated as the chairperson of the chapter, and the other members being the vice chairperson Dr. Sanjay Bafna, General Secretary on my side, and Dr. Joint Secretary Dr. Bharat, and Treasurer being Dr. Devasis Adhikari. And from that point of time, these members were contributing their immense efforts and contributions on day and night basis, and this is the reality where we are standing today to showcase our strength in front of the public and the other subspecialty of the pediatrics. We were even able to form a team of the journal. Editorial committee was also formed, and the first e-bulletin of our journal is going to be released by the hands of our Honorable Director from the same dais today. Similarly, in the same fashion, the academic board was also constituted, where they are supposed to look after the fellowship programs, and with the effort of our academic body of the IEP PEM chapter, we were able to prepare a module and the curriculum of the IEP PEM fellowship program, and that is going to be rolled out very soon across the India. During the year 2022, January, during the Noida Pedicon, because this is a new chapter, we were not given any slot to showcase our academic platform in the Pedicon. So on our request, the Central IEP has agreed, and they have given a slot of 3 hours of panel discussion, including the guest speakers and quiz competitions. And with a lot of enthusiasm, all the members attended the Pedicon, and it was a grand success. During the faculty EB meeting held during the Pedicon Noida, we had a delightful to discuss and start our membership drive and other matters, including the registration of the society, which was a huge task on our part. and the academic modules, and it was decided to start the bulletin of the journal on that same day. And all the persons were given different responsibility as regard to formation of the constitutions, looking at the registration of the society, opening up the bank account, and the creation of the logo and designing the website. So a lot of work has been done in last 1 year, and I am grateful to all my colleagues that they have supported, and they have given their full time in spite of their busy schedule, so that the pediatric emergency medicine chapter is seen the light of the day. During the last 1 year also, we have devised few modules, that is PEARL, TRIES, PTLS, and PTLS program. So, and all these modules we have, in the last 3 days of the workshop, we try to translate these modules into the patient care, and these things were imparted, and all the 3 works we have conducted, all these 3 workshops were conducted, and it was a big success, and it was all the delegates, they were appreciating the modules and the workshop the way it was conducted. Following academic activity initiated and continuing from time to time since last 1 year, that is International Clinical Grand Round from AIIMS Raipur. We are holding it every month. CMC Vellore is holding online activity every weekly, every Saturday, and we are able to get a platform in the DIP also, where we have already showcased our strength on the DIP platform twice in last 2 months. There are certain hospitals, just I will be wrong, or the enroll report will be incomplete if I will not name these few hospitals who have contributed immensely in the last couple of decades to increase the presence of pediatric emergency medicine in the discipline. To name them, Sir Gangaram Hospital, New Delhi, Institute of Child Health in Chennai, Kanchi Kamakoti Hospital, Chennai, Apollo Children's Hospital, Chennai, Christian Medical College, Vellore, Manipal Hospital, Bangalore, KIMS, Trivandrum, Mehta Hospital, Chennai, Aster Hospital, Bangalore, AIIMS, Jodhpur, Academic College of Emergency Experts in India, and AIIMS, Raipur. So these are the 12 institutions presently giving either a fellowship degree or a DM program as on to the students passing from the pediatrics. I am very much thankful to all my stalwarts in the discipline across the length and breadth of the country, and especially the pioneers. And I am sure the journey I have accomplished with my fellow colleagues of this chapter in the last 11 months, looking at the journey and the progress of the chapter so far, I am very much hopeful that in future the felt need of the pediatricians and the acceptance of the chapter will increase, and more number of budding pediatricians will join the team and take it further with the development of more and more guidelines, protocols, and quality research, and will give justice to the sick kids in the golden hour arriving to the ER. Jai Hind, Jai IP.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Professor Dr. Suresh Gupta, sir, to address the gathering.
It's really a pleasure and honor to share this stage with great stalwart in the field of academics and healthcare like Dr. D'Souza, Dr. Nagarkar, Dr. Agarwal, and Dr. Geeta, who are pioneers in their own field. I also bow down to Dr. J. Surpre, who is not here today, and Dr. Singhi, who are my mentor, who always provided unconditional support, unconditional guidance throughout our journey to develop this pediatric emergency medicine. I would like to be very, very brief. Let me take you in the past. Almost 2 decades back, I always wondered why this important specialty care area or health care area where death and life matters is called casualty. And I realized that, or found the reason for why it's called casualty, because the most casual person, most incompetent person who cannot be used anywhere in the hospital is posted in emergency or casualty as a punishment posting. And it took us 15 years to change this mindset, to convert this casualty in an emergency model. Right? This is 13th Napem, frankly speaking. The first Napem was started in 2008 and it was being conducted under Society for Trauma and Emergency Pediatrics, but under PM chapter of IAP. This is the first National Emergency Medicine Conference. And now even super specialty program of DMM emergency medicine has been started 2 years back, and even PGI Chandigarh is conducting a 1-year fellowship program started I think few months back. And I also thank Dr. Goyal, Dr. Tushar and Dr. Santosh for organizing this conference and putting their energy, enthusiasm and resources to make it possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I now request Professor Dr. Sunit Singhi, sir, to address the gathering.
Thank you. Dr. D'Souza, the chief guest and the president of the institute, Dr. Nagarkar, the director and the guest of honor for this conference, Dr. Alok Agarwal, Dr. Suresh Gupta, Dr. Sarita Agarwal, Dean Research, Dr. Goyal, the organizing chairperson, friends, delegates, and some of those who are known from before coming here, so the dear ones. This is a great pleasure to be here and see that emergency medicine in pediatrics is taking finally a shape, although we had been trying to nurture and water it for quite some time and had been able to have some centers of excellence, but having a chapter from Indian Academy of Pediatrics, which I would say effort of Dr. Suresh Gupta, almost 50% and rest all 50%. Because he was the one who would be after me, not that, I had been, that sir ye karna hai, sir wo karna hai. And I always thought that that's really a spirit of person who wishes to accomplish something, contribute to something. And STEP was the first step in that. So that Society of Pediatric Emergency and Trauma that we started several years back, that grew, especially with the training program, it is spread. And now that having a full-fledged chapter and a recognition of this specialty as one by Indian Academy of Pediatrics really is a giant step. Now we are waiting for more training programs, but I must congratulate Dr. Nagarkar and the team here to start the first DM program in pediatric emergency care. And all other institutions should take a leaf from here and follow the institute in starting the program in pediatric emergency care. It's not just because I belong to this specialty, but I had always maintained that if we want to reduce child mortality, then timely emergency care is the only way. And in that, again, the training is the key. This is subject of my oration at NAMS about 10 years ago. So this is This is what I firmly believe, and I'm so glad that we had been able to accomplish many of these, which is now the beginning. But I must say that we are still very late, and we now have less time to cover what we have been lagging behind. As I had been conversing with some of our friends, the program in pediatric emergency training in the United States started in 1987, the board examinations. And Dr. Surpre that we maintain is one of the very early pioneers, and he was the one who used to visit India regularly earlier to help and help us to train in pediatric emergency program. I had spent some time in his unit in 1989 before we also embarked on more organized pediatric emergency care. Though at PGI it was started, I must say again, by a very visionary director, Dr. B.N.S. Walia, where we had one room, but pediatric patients would come to one area. So from that one room now, of course, Dr. Jayashree is managing 140, 150 patients in a 22-bedded unit. But that's what it had been, the requirement, the need, and it is still not recognized by word over that when there is a pediatric emergency specifically meant for children, and then there are common emergency service maintained, the mortality is much lower when there are specific pediatric emergency care. And that is recognized even by WHO, which came out through a worldwide survey. So I am glad that we are there somewhere in that process, trying to help our children and do something which they need. And we also are then in sync with our national priorities. So with that, I would say congratulations, Dr. Goel, for taking it further, and Dr. Gupta for taking it further, and to you, sir, for encouraging the younger ones to do something worthwhile. I hope the Institute will come out with few more pioneering things. With that, I will take my seat. Thank you.
May I now request our guest of honor, Professor Dr. Nitin M. Nagarkar, sir, to address the audience.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everybody. The chief guest of today's function, Professor George D'Souza, the president of AIIMS Raipur and head of AIIMS Raipur family, Professor Dr. Alok Agrawal, the dean academics, Professor Dr. Sunit Singhi, whom I have known from my PGI days, sir, Madam Singhi and the rest of the team, a wonderful team, and I bow to these stalwarts who have taken pediatrics to the next level. I am sure that many of his students are excelling, and you can see them over here today itself. Professor Dr. Sarita Agarwal, thank you so much. Professor Dr. Suresh Gupta, you've seen how he has taken this specialty of pediatric emergency medicine forward. Professor Dr. Anil K. Goel, thank you very much for conducting this particular conference over here so well as the organizing chairperson along with the rest of your team. And I remember when you came and you suggested that this was an important conference and is the first of its national conference under the IPM chapter. I said, well, go ahead. We have the facilities and we have the energy and enthusiasm of your team. So great that you conducted it here. And of course, our young and dynamic, energetic organizing secretaries, Dr. Tushar Jagjapi and Dr. Santosh Rathia. We have faculty members from different parts of the country and of course our own faculty members from our institute, invited delegate guests, and my dear students. So first and foremost, I thank Professor George D'Souza, who is the chief guest of today's function, and always continuously guiding us, suggesting new ways how to take the institution forward. We have been discussing how the last 10 years have been challenging, nonetheless very rewarding, because we have a wonderful team over here. We had the guidance and support of Professor D'Souza at all times, of our ministry at the center as well as in the state. And more importantly, all members of the AIMS Raipur family have contributed to make the institution come up to this level, and certainly we will soar higher in future also, thanks to your support. Professor Anil Goyal, again, when he suggested that this DM Pediatric Emergency Medicine course should start, like everybody continues to mention, it's a very important subspecialty, and we require trained personnel, professionals who will be able to save so many young lives. So I thank again Professor V.K. Paul and Professor Surjit Singh. They all of us have helped us during our academic committee meetings, and more new courses, and especially I'm thankful that the Department of Pediatrics has gone ahead with DM courses, PDCC courses, and we find a good number of takers for these courses, and I'm sure that these professionals will excel, do well in future. It will lead to a new subspecialty, something which was so needed for our country, especially in the remote areas. At that golden time period which you have just talked about, since time is the essence, it's managing pediatric emergency cases, I'm sure that many lives can be saved. The deliberations will be very useful for all of us, but I'm sure that the young delegates are going to learn from the stalwarts. I see so many of them. And to all the stalwarts as well as to the youngsters, I would say that I know that you will have a very busy schedule here, but please take time out, visit the hospital, the college, and please give your valuable feedbacks, inputs, so we can keep on increasing and enhancing our facilities in future. So thank you very much, one and all. And it's been a pleasure, and we hope to have more and more such subspecialty meetings also, apart from the broad specialties. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Jai.
Now I would earnestly request Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Dr. George D'Souza, Sir, to share his words of wisdom with the august gathering.
Dr. Nitin Agarkar, Director, AIMS Raipur, Dr. Anil Goyal, Professor of Pediatrics and Organizing Secretary, other dignitaries on the dais, faculty, delegates, and dear students. At the outset, I'd like to thank the organizers for inviting me to be the chief guest of this first national conference of IAP PM chapter. I must congratulate the AIMS Raipur leadership in taking the initiative, not only in conducting this conference, but being the first in the country to start a DM program in pediatric emergency medicine. Some of you may not be aware, but this institute this year celebrates its 10th year of existence. And in this short time, it has achieved much. It has reached the under 50 coveted position in the NIRF ranking in less than 10 years. And this DM program, along with many others that it has started which are unique, is another feather in its cap, and I'm sure going forward it will grow from strength to strength. As we all know, the health of our children is a good reflection of the health of our nation. While we have achieved much in this area, I think there's still lots more to be achieved. And pediatric emergency is probably one such area. As pointed out by early speakers, the morbidity and mortality is still pretty high in the pediatric emergencies, and from what I have read, can vary as from 5 to 25% in this country, probably around 15%, which is fairly high. It is well recognized that emergencies managed in pediatric emergencies managed in adult emergencies is an inadequate position because outcomes are poor and it also increases costs if the adult is managing the pediatric emergencies. So there is a need for this specialty. The conference with its theme, "Let's Make the Difference in Survival," is probably apt. It is well planned with workshops which will equip young doctors to handle pediatric emergencies more effectively. While I agree that the subspecialty of pediatric emergency medicine should grow, one must remember that in our country, resources are very varied. I know for one that with the advent of adult emergency medicine as a specialty, our young internal medicine residents feel ill-equipped to handle emergencies. And many of them go to smaller places where there are no emergency departments. And this should not happen for pediatric emergencies. So I think the association should think of means by which the pediatric resident, at least until such time our country reaches a state where there's a pediatric emergency easily accessible to all children, our pediatric residents need to continue to be able to handle pediatric emergencies and probably handle them better until such time he or she is able to refer the patient to a bigger center. As the president of AIIMS Raipur, I would like to welcome the faculty and the delegates who have come from across the country for this conference. I wish the conference all success. I wish the organizers all success. Have a good time of learning and deliberation. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. May I now request Professor Dr. Nitin M. Nagarkar, sir, to felicitate the Honorable Chief Guest.
I would like to request Professor Dr. Suresh Gupta, sir, Chairperson, IAP PEM Chapter, to felicitate Professor Dr. Nitin M. Nagarkar, sir. Now, I request Professor Dr. Nitin M. Nagarkar, sir, to felicitate Professor Dr. Suresh Gupta, sir. I request Professor Dr. Nitin M. Nagarkar, sir, to felicitate Professor Dr. Sunit Singhi, sir. May I please invite Professor Dr. Nitin M. Nagarkar, sir, to felicitate Professor Dr. Alok Agarwal, sir. I request Professor Dr. Nitin M. Nagarkar, sir, to felicitate Professor Dr. Sarita Agarwal, ma'am. I request Professor Dr. Nitin M. Nagarkar, sir, to felicitate Professor Dr. Anil K. Goyal, sir. I request Professor Dr. Nitin M. Nagarkar, sir, to felicitate Dr. Tushar Jagzape, sir. Now I invite sir to felicitate Dr. Santosh Rathia, sir.
I now request Dr. Tushar Jagzape sir, Organizing Secretary Napem 2022, to give the vote of thanks.
A very good afternoon to all. Thank you is a simple but one of the most effective prayers. Thank you, Dr. Simran, for giving me this opportunity to offer this prayer to our esteemed guests of today's function. I would like to begin by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to Honorable President of AIIMS Raipur, Professor Dr. George D'Souza sir, a renowned pulmonologist of international repute, for taking time out of his busy schedule and gracing the occasion as the chief guest. Your presence has filled the atmosphere with positivity and enthusiasm. Thank you very much, sir. Next, I would like to thank Honorable Director and CEO, Professor Dr. Nitin Nagarkar sir, who has been so supportive throughout the organization of this event. Sir is always there for guiding and mentoring us as a true leader and head of AIIMS Raipur family. Sir, your energy and multitasking skills are unparalleled. You are an inspiration to all of us. Thank you very much, sir. I express my thanks to Dr. Rimesh Kumar, the President of Central IAP, and Dr. Vinit Saxena, the Secretary of Central IAP in absentia, and also the new President-elect, Dr. Basavaraj, for supporting the IAP PM chapter right from its conception. We expect continued support from the new body and extend greetings for the new tenure. Dr. Suresh Gupta, Founding Chairman of IAP PM chapter, a veteran in the field of pediatric emergency medicine. Sir, your contribution for the formation of PM chapter and progress of pediatric emergency is stupendous. Thank you for being here with us for the 2 days of the conference, and we look forward to learn from your experience, sir. Dr. Sumit Singh sir, I'm very thankful to you for gracing this occasion. You are a legend in yourself and inspiration to all those who are sitting there. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to thank our beloved Dean Academics, Dr. Alok Singh sir, Alok Agrawal sir, and Dean Research, Dr. Sarita Agrawal madam. Both of our deans have got very dynamic personalities, and apart from being very sought after clinicians of Central India, they are very friendly and they have very cordial relation with each and everybody. Thank you for guiding us from time to time. Words are not enough to thank Professor Dr. Anil K. Goyal, the organizing chairperson for the conference, founder member and secretary of IAP PEM chapter. He is more like an elder brother to me than the HOD of the department. The department has grown with leaps and bounds under his leadership. The conference would not have materialized without the untiring efforts, dedication on your part. Thank you very much, sir, for taking the initiative of organizing the conference and giving me an opportunity to work by your side. Next, I express my gratitude to Dr. Santosh Rathia, my colleague and co-organizing secretary, for all your help and the hard work for the organization of this conference. Dr. Santosh, your continuous encouraging chatter during the preparation of the event made the cumbersome work enjoyable. Thank you, Dr. Santosh. A conference is like a body. The faculties are like mind and delegates are like the soul of the conference. I am extremely thankful to all the distinguished faculties from all across the India and also from across the oceans for accepting our invitation and sharing their time, knowledge and experience with all of us. Similarly, I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the delegates who have come here to experience the academic bonanza. The event would have been a mundane arrangement without your active participation. Thank you for being here. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all my departmental colleagues, Dr. Atul, Dr. Tripti, Dr. Manas, Dr. Sunil, Dr. Simran, for their unconditional support in organizing this event. No idea can materialize and be successful unless there are people to execute it. Our departmental SRs, both academic and non-academics, our JRs have worked beyond their routines for weeks together to ensure that everything is up to the mark. Right from the communication with faculties, delegates, their travel plans, stay, food, scientific session, and all other aspects. I take this opportunity to thank them for their unconditional support throughout the event, and I'm sure of their support for the post-conference course as well. I would be failing in my duty if I do not acknowledge my departmental colleagues, SRs and JRs who are working hard to provide uninterrupted service to the patients when most of us are busy here in the conference. We are very much thankful to them all. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our office staff, our sponsors, the audiovisual team, the catering team, and all other supporting staff who directly or indirectly contributed in the successful organization of the conference. Thank you one and all.
Thank you very much, sir.
May I please request the governing body members of IAPPEM chapter and members of the organizing committee to assemble for a group photo.
Thank you very much, sir.
May I please request the governing body members of IAPPEM chapter and members of the organizing committee to assemble for a group photo.